Good day. This is Brian Nash from How We Got Here Genealogy. I want to welcome to the How We Got Here Genealogy live stream. I don't know why I'm moving my mic. I'm using my wireless mic right now, so it won't really matter. If you're watching, please let me know if you hear too much background noise. It's a very, very hot day here in Prince Edward Island, and I've been I have my window open to keep it cool and fresh here. So yeah, just to check in with everybody. If you want to let me know if you're watching this live, where you're coming from. As always, I'm here to answer your questions, and I want you to stick around to the end because we do have a section where you can just what we have a final questions, I guess, mode, or it's called our last call. If you're watching it on the repeat, feel free to put in the comments repeat gang. And so just yeah, want to welcome you all to the live stream, no matter if you're live or if you're post live, I guess. Yeah, well, post live would mean dead. I guess you're not really dead if you're watching it on the replay. Anyways, I do very much welcome you for another Thursday night. Hoping everything's well with you. Tonight I'm here to answer your questions. I'm actually going to be working on an upcoming video about a specific person from Prince Edward Island. I'm going to be working on. Hopefully, it will be out in the next few weeks, if not sooner. So yeah, if you just want to drop in any questions that you might have, if you're having problems hearing me, do let me know. I'm still not the most trustworthy on this mic and with the background noise. I can eliminate the background noise if I need to by closing my window, but I prefer not to because it's, like I said, a little hot today. Okay, so let's get ready to roll. So I'm going to be working on a video. I'm working on a video about a person from Prince Edward Island. While I'm doing that, I might as well show you a few things in regards to Prince Edward Island, and I'll give you a sneak preview if you're watching tonight about that video. So just 1 second here. This is one of the interesting things about Prince Edward Island. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen right now. There we go. So I'm going to share this. This is a map of basically Prince Edward Island when it was originally taken over by the English. And the interesting thing to know about PEI is at this time, when it was taken over, the designer of the map and the government had a plan to basically sell the property to people in England that would be landlords, and they would then rent out the land to tenant farmers. These divisions were called lots. If you ask a lot of people, they will tell you what lot they're in. There's actually a few places that still go by their lot number as opposed to a community name. For instance, there's a place called Lot 16. It's around Rosedale, just outside of Summerside area. and it is still called Lot 16. So this is sort of where it was divided into the 3 counties. You have Prince County in the west, Queens County in the center, and Kings County. And then there was some townships as well. There was the township of Summerside, and there, which is right about here. There's a township of Charlottetown, named after Queen Charlotte, and then there was Georgetown, named after George III, as the French would say. So this is the map. So often on records you will find, and then it was still called in this particular map St. John, because it wasn't until a little later they renamed it. They first looked at, well, it was Ile Saint Jean when the French had control of it. The English took it and named it St. John. There was a movement actually to name it New Ireland, but there was already a colony that was going to be called New Ireland, so it didn't keep that name. Would have been interesting. Then you would have had basically the 3 maritime or provinces. Oh, well, 4 maritime provinces, I guess, afterwards, but the 3 at the time would have been, or colonies. You would have had Nova Scotia, which means New Scotland, New Brunswick, Brunswick being an area that was held in Western Europe by George III. It's in, I guess, Germany, Prussia there, and then you would have New Ireland. Interesting, a lot of Irish did wind up settling in Prince Edward Island, as well as a lot of Scots. They would be the majority, as well as some of the Acadians that had stayed past the Acadian deportation. So you would have those settlers there. So the person I'm looking at, I just have this map because it's going to be included in my video as I go into the person's history. You also notice that there are parishes. These parishes and their names would be basically, they are named after what would have been churches at the time, or that was the Hope. And this would be in regards to the Anglican Church. So you'll see some familiar things like St. David's Parish, Richmond Parish. This area is still called Richmond. And there's St. Patrick's Parish. So you just have they'd already conveniently broken this down because they were, when they were doing this, they were planning on communities, and because they were planning transportation and other things throughout the island. So it's actually really kind of an interesting thing, the way it was all laid out originally, and the fact that the tenant farmers land, so basically the landowners were absentee landlords, and then you had the people that actually lived, worked the land, fished, etc. There wasn't a lot of resources on Prince Edward Island in comparison to the other provinces like Nova Scotia. There was no real rich coal mine. There was forestry in Prince Edward Island to a fairly decent extent. There was also shipbuilding, but a lot of its industry related to farming and then the fisheries or seafaring as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to get rid of this map here. Just working on the script. This is actually it's an interesting person I'm going to be doing a video on. I don't want to give away a lot, but this is a person. They were the first female in the United States though they were a Canadian, to get a Purple Heart. This was during World War One. It was the person who served as a nurse with the U.S. Army. It's a very, very interesting story, and the connection to Prince Edward Island. She was third or fourth generation. Her family were some of the first English settlers in Prince Edward Island. Interestingly enough, they were Catholic, and they were Gaelic-speaking Scottish Catholic, which isn't rare in Nova Scotia, but is more rare in Prince Edward Island. Most of the Scottish people that wound up in Prince Edward Island, as far as my understanding, my research, were more Church of Scotland or Anglican. Mostly would have been Church of Scotland. So yes, so it's an interesting video. I'm planning on exploring her life and her genealogy, going back to the original ancestors of hers that came to Prince Edward Island from Scotland, as well as examining some of the more recent members of the family that would be descendants of hers. Well, not descendants, because she was not married, but would have been descendants of her parents. There would be nieces and nephews. Really, really interesting character, and somebody I think people will be quite excited to learn about. Trying something a little different. I've done some videos on people besides my own family. It's generally people that are more famous, and honestly, this person deserves to be famous, and not a lot of people, even on Prince Edward Island, know about her. So it's I think it's a story worth telling. Okay. I'm just waiting here. And hoping you guys are getting a chance to vote in my poll. Just asking today, what's the main purpose that you watch my channel? Usually, is it to learn family research tips, or is it to hear the family history stories, the stories of people? Just as I'm planning my content going forward for the fall and the winter, I'm just trying to get an idea of what you guys like to watch. My analytics tell me definitely one thing over the other, but I think it's always good to ask. That's why I want to know if you want to put a comment in the chat or in the comments what you think I have been doing. Quizzes on basically one single trivia question on Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays being a genealogy themed trivia question, and Saturdays being Canadian history. So let me know if you, in the chat or in the comments, if you enjoy those, if you've been participating. Trying to think of other ways to get people engaged in my community. I want you guys to, be part of a community that's active and serving your needs. And also, I want us to be able to have opportunities in the future to share things. So I'm looking at different ways of building community. I'm hoping that the community post will be sort of a start with that. So yeah, if you're watching it, you just want to let me know where you're watching from, or if you have any specific questions, do drop it in the chat there. So yeah, with the video that I'm doing, I'll give you a little preview here in a minute of so you'll know what's coming up. Like I said, it's a little different. It's let's see here. It's a little different than I normally do in the sense that that usually I would pick somebody that's already a little more well known. I'm going to be doing a few of those coming up as well, but there's other people that aren't as well known I want to introduce people to, people that I think have fascinating stories and their family has interesting stories. So this is just to give you a very quick sneak peek at what's coming up. Here is I'm going to give you a really quick peek of the thumbnail, and there it is. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? You want that again? Okay. So there you go. There's the thumbnail, and so yeah, it's should be an interesting story, which I think people will enjoy. Also want to ask you this time on Thursdays, does it work out? The last time I was here, I had not as many people watching as the previous 2 weeks. I had taken off last week because I was busy. Still trying to find the best time. It had seemed to work for 2 weeks in a row. I got quite a few people watching in, so I want to yeah, just again keep serving you guys and bringing you the type of content you want, and for these live streams at the time and the places that suit you. There's some tools that say when the best time for me to upload videos and stuff, but I don't always find those the best, as they don't always tell me. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily accurate. Okay. Just making a quick adjustment to something here on this. The other thing I want to see is just where we're at on this. Perfect. Okay, so I think I'm ready to get back and do a little more focus here. What I'm doing that, I need to get that off my screen there. It's still up for me though, it's not up for you. So yeah, if you want to just put your question in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so yeah, I'm just checking on a few things. I apologize. And it seems like it's split 50-50 why people watch that's only with 2 votes, so it'd be nice to have a few more. Why people are watching. So there we go. Okay, so yeah, when I'm working on this person's Prince Edward Island is a little different as far as their records and what they have in Atlantic Canada. I'm just going to share this here. So this is from the Public Archives site, and let's don't like the way you put that there. There we go. So this is from the Public Archive site in PI. Sort of what you can do. It's not as nice as some of the other provincial sites. And you really have to sort of know where you're looking. There are some great things on Prince Edward Island. There's a lot of great other sites that have collections as well. The land maps and stuff are really good in Prince Edward Island. I'm going to see if I can show you one here in a second. Just stop sharing that for a second. And this is one of the neat things I really like when I moved to PEI. Let me see. Just apologize. I'm just trying to bring up something I had up there earlier. So this is, yeah, on PI, if you bring up, you can even do this by address. You can get a link to the map. It's quite neat. It gives you a lot of different information here. But there's actually, I'm just going to look for a specific address here. 1 second. So if I use this place finder, I can find things based on its a GPS. I can just look at other things. So I'm going to look for, let's look, Middleton's where I live, Concora. Let's look for Concora. I'm just going to, so if I have the community, I can click there. It tells me some basic information, but I can even look up. Okay, Nick, great, glad to have you there. So yeah, you can look up a lot of interesting. If you look up specific address, is one of the neat things it does. It actually gives you aerial photography, and you can go back to the 1930s. So I'm just gonna not show you my address if I can here. Let's see. Let's just see if I can put a specific place here. Okay, just 1 second so you don't. I'm trying to use this place finder that I can show you. I'm sorry. It does does give you a lot of information about specific communities. It'll give you the details, sort of history. It really only has the history as far as, but it's been incorporated. But the neat thing is, it does actually tell you what subdivision it falls under in the census. though it's not always necessary. They might have changed in previous censuses, so you have to be careful there, because what we are looking at is always older older places. So so one of the neat things is so you can look at the aerial photography, but what it does when you look up your addresses, one second here, you can actually see what your house looked like years and years ago. At least I used to have that. So let me just see here. No, it's not there. Let me see. Apologize. I'm just really not very interesting tonight. I apologize. Let's see if I can get to where I want to find. Oh, there we go. Well, this is what I was wanting to show you. So if you look here, you'll actually be able to go back, and I can see aerial photographies of my property going back to 1935, 1958, 1974. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. the area. So yeah, if I'm looking at the property now, oops. Again, you sort of have to know where exactly you're looking. So this is the property I'm at. So we're going to look there, and we're going to look at the previous years. So if I go back to 1935, now this is the problem because it's going to be a little different. It might be a different angle. So we need to figure out where I'm at and what those roads would be. So let's go back. Actually, let's go back to 1990. So you go back to 1990. There's the property. So you'll see there's this road here, this low dirt road, and along here. So we're gonna, we're gonna go back to 1974. Now, because it does actually taking the pictures at different times and from different locations, it might appear that things look different, but when you know the area, you can actually zoom in and tell where it's at. So again, we're looking about here. So yeah, it's kind of neat. You can go back. Again, it's going to look different as years get older. There's not as many houses, so it's not always as easy to figure out where exactly you should be looking. And they don't give necessarily the best directions, but they are there. So that be coming off there. And the roads have definitely changed. That's the hard part. The roads have changed, so you can't necessarily always pick it out a season. But yeah, it has those aerial photos. Anyways, that's about geography, not really so much genealogy. There we go. Oh, I wasn't even, was I showing that? Yeah. So yeah, you get different things. So this person I'm looking at, again, their history goes right back. One of the interesting things that I'm finding out is that her parents both have the same last name, but they are differentiating her grandparents have not her parents, her grandparents have the same last name on both sides of her father's side. So they differentiate them by naming the place where they're from. Now, the interesting thing is one of the places where a person is from is a place name in Scotland, and it's also a place name in PI here. So I'm going to show this one here. So this is Jane McDonald of Alisary. Now, Alisary there is a place in Prince Edward Island, but it's also a place in Scotland. And you'll notice her father is Angus MacDonald of Alisary. Now, this is according to Family Search, but when I've been looking through the records, I'm finding that the person has pretty good sources for where they are from. Now, this is the interesting part. So when I look at Angus MacDonald of Alisary, he was born in Scotland, and his father was Donald MacDonald of Alisary. So so when I look at his father, he was born in Inverness-shire in Scotland, but he has this Donald MacDonald of Alisary because that's where he was. He lived in Prince Edward Island. It's really on the other sort of side of the island, but again, the Scottish Catholic community would have been fairly small. So the size of it would have been definitely the communities. You might be looking a little farther than your neighbor for a spouse. And again, Donald MacDonald of Alisary, his wife's name is Jane Og MacDonald of Guydale. And when we look at her, again, she is from Inverness-shire. So it's a name that she would have gotten afterwards. I do like the Og in the name. It's a little different. Her father has it. She has it. It's definitely something that they were giving to differentiate themselves. Okay. So I'm just going to get ready to do the last call because I actually do need to do some work on this. I got some clips to put together for the video. I'm not very talkative today. Again, yeah, here's the thumbnail I'm working on for her. It's I use Adobe Express. I have a paid version, and it's a little better. A few selections that gives me things. Generally, I just have here. I'll show you how I make a thumbnail. Just because I have asked people how I do it. And if you don't know, you don't know. So let's, this is pretty good. It has everything I need as far as sizes, which is the big thing when you're designing your thumbnails for YouTube. So when I use Adobe Express here to design this, they have templates, but generally I sort of I use some of their artwork sometimes, and then some of my own assets, because often it's about a specific person. So this here, I don't really see anything that suits it. So I sort of get in mind, before I even start filming the video, once I've worked out sort of what topics I'm gonna have for my video, what I'm going to be doing for my video, I've worked out what a thumbnail should look like. It's something I hope I'm slowly getting better at. It's come with practice. I find if I'm talking about a person, I usually like to try and have that person, or if it's a group of people, something indicative of that. Sometimes I include myself, sometimes I don't. In this particular one that I was looking at, I didn't include myself because the focus was on the person. So the first thing I did is, I know they were American, so I wanted to use a US flag. So in this case, sorry, I'm not looking at templates, I'm looking at media. It's going to show, I'm just actually interested in photos. So I picked a flag. The one I picked was this one. I could have easily went with this. I wanted to make it my background, but I also wanted to blur it. So it's really good to have some adjustments here. Because I kind of wanted to, because she wasn't American, but it's an American thing, so I wanted to blur it. This is going to be actually a little different than the thumbnail, so it's going to be a different one. Maybe I'll let you guys judge what you think. So post in the chat or in the comments afterwards which one you think was better. So this will be number 2. So then I have this here, and then the other thing is I'm going to make this so it's my whole background. So I'm going to set that as background. Then I had my person, my image of my person. So I took an image that I had, and let me see if I can upload it here. That one's actually too large. So just give me 1 second. That was the one thing I did find. I had to go in and make something a little smaller. You're not seeing what I'm doing behind the scenes here, but I'm taking, oops. It's not letting me do that. I'm going to edit this to make it smaller, sorry. Because the original file I had was way, way too large. It was a very nice, crisp image. So now you should be able to see that image. Again, the first thing I want to do is use this remove background. So I have her, and she was that small. You can't really see her. You don't. I mean, the skirt and stuff is not what's important. I sort of want to. So I went something like this. And then I had to find examples of the two metals. So now I have this metal here. Oops, take this picture. Again, that's not the one I used. So I just actually did a Google search and I grabbed an image. So I picked one that I wanted to use. I think it was actually this one I used that already had an American flag behind it. If I copy image, I can actually just paste that there. And nope, I don't want to do that. I want to copy image. Copy image. Again, the same thing. I'm going to use the remove background. And then I have a metal of some size. I can sort of do this how I like. And then the other medals that she had was the Distinguished Service Star. So I think it was called the Star. I don't know, it was called Medal. Okay. And again, if you can take it from Wikipedia, it's always the best. Sometimes, though, their images are too large. So what I did was I took it, I copied the image, and I paste, remove background, and now I want to make this as large as my other one. So it's actually it's a little bigger there. This would tell me the tips are both the same. Now my big thing is let's look at the widths, right? So let's try and make the widths about the same. I do that. That's here. And go up here. Want to make it a little smaller. What I do here, like me zoom out and there. So now I'm looking at it, but the same size. With this, I wanted to do something to point out that she was an American. So I'm going to actually blur this a little more. Blur my background a little more so you can, I want you so you can tell that it's there. But what I want to do is I'm going to put a maple leaf. So I went to here, and again, I just looked for red maple leaf. I want to use an actual real maple leaf. So this one here, I thought was pretty good. Remove the background. And then I enlarged it. Now, as you notice, it's in front of the metals here. If I go down here, I can pull and put it right. So I'm going to put it's behind everything. But I want to take it and highlight it, and I'm going to change the size. So now again, where do I want to put that? Maybe it might look better behind her. Or even just there. I could make it smaller and put it there. So that's again, that's my new thumbnail. If I keep that, let's just go back to my stuff. There's that. So that was the let you decide and see what you think. So there's the original. There's the new one. I like the new one better, actually, but I'm still not sure where I should put this maple leaf. What do you think? You guys are watching, you think I need the maple leaf in there? Or does the maple leaf just detract from it? Let's see, make that a little bigger. There we go. I don't know. What do you think? With the maple leaf or without? I can make her even larger. Let's try that. Make her larger. I want to get her medals in the picture. So I mean, the other thing I could do is I could go to there. Let's detach that for now, and let's replace that. Let's replace it from. I'm going to look see if they have a flag that's half Canadian. So I'm hoping, don't want to get that. I didn't really want to use a Canadian flag either, because the Canadian flag that we have now would not have actually been her. But let's just see if I do something like that. And I could set that as the background. You really don't see it. Again, I could maybe I have it a little too blurred now because it doesn't look as nice with this one. my problem is, though, we didn't use that Canadian flag at that point in World War One, so it's kind of not very accurate. So I think I'll just go back to the U.S. flag. And what one did I say? I think I said I use this one. I'll make that. I'm going to make my adjustments. I'm going to blur it. And I'm going to, oh, not that blurry. And I'm going to set it as background. And then, I mean, I can put text here as well. That's the other thing you could do. Now, it comes with these different text options you can choose if you want to make a certain type. I generally add text. Figure what, if I'm going to do it, I figure what color. I have my caps lock on, so that's. And then I have to figure out what colors would first of all look right. And when I do that, I usually like to outline I mean, I don't think I'd use that as my title. I actually like this one here with no words. But I could do something like that. But it just then becomes too busy. I mean, I could try blurring the metals, adding a little bit of a blur to them. But yeah, well, I don't think text is needed there. What do you guys that are watching think? Text or no text? But how do I show she's not an American without any text? The maple leaf was the idea. Which I did on this one, but it's not that noticeable. And if you look at them, these here are actually fairly similar. Though it's the same picture, actually it looks a little brighter. I think it's just a little larger. Yeah, I think I actually like the second one, the one I just did up. I like the flag at that angle a little better. You can tell it's an American flag. Yeah, so I'm just still trying to figure it out. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you have, I don't know if anybody has any genealogy questions they want to ask me or general questions about my channel. I'd love to give you a little more information about this person I'm doing the video on, but you'll have to wait for that. I think you'll enjoy it. Like I said, it's a very interesting story. And Yeah, in the meantime, if you're watching this in the replay, put down in the comments what you think. Words, no words, maple leaf, no maple leaf, first one, or the original or the new one. What do you think looks better? And why? Okay, so I guess it's time to ring that bell.
Last call! Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I need to announce it's last call at the bar. Oh.
So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask it. I'm going to give you a minute or two and just post it in the chat there. If not, forever hold your P's and Q's, I guess. Just do remember on the way out to like this video and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos come up. I'll be back on a more regular schedule come September. Still hoping to do these weekly live streams. I'm trying to work out the best time. Put in the comments there when is the best time that you'd be able to join, and what type of things would you like to see me do? Are you looking for behind the scenes type things like this, or are you looking for me to just interact, answer questions, or answer specific questions and take on specific topics each live stream? Again, I do really thank you for watching. Remember to hit that like, that subscribe button, and until next time.
Things change. Farewell, farewell, my friend. Things change. Farewell, my friend. Farewells, they're not forever. They mean I'll miss you till we meet again. Things change, farewell, farewell, my friend. Things change, farewell, my friend. But farewells.
'Twas the Scots that built this country, it should never be forgot. In each Canadian family, somewhere there's a Scot. When Sir John A. Macdonald looked out across this land, what he saw before him, a Scot would understand. Those first few encounters with the savages were hot.
It's Indians, not savages.
I was referring to the Scots.
Oh, aye.
St. Andrew's ball is lavish each year in Montreal. All around the world, the Scots are famous for their balls. Wherever a Scotsman travelled, there were two things that they brought:
Whiskey and containers.
the containers for the Scots.
Oh, aye.
'Twas the Scots that built this country. By the Scots this land was built, not by pea soup or Yorkshire pudding, but by porridge, pipe and kilt. While politicians argue what is right and what is not,